Hello and welcome to our latest edition of The Source. I'm Colette Kent.
And I'm Hannah Travers. Coming up, we've got the latest on the controversy over contraception and women's rights.
And if you're a senior grappling with homework fatigue, you won't want to miss our report on senioritis. We'll also take you to Japan Fest. That's all right here on The Source. Stay watching.
March has celebrated women's history since the early 80s, but what does Women's History Month really mean today? How far have women come and what obstacles lie ahead? Vanessa Alvarez and Nefi Alarcon filed this report.
This year, GW celebrated International Women's Day with an array of events and lectures, all tailored to addressing women's issues.
Every day should be International Women's Day and People's Day and Humanities Day.
Dr. Barbara Miller leads the Global Gender Program at George Washington University.
Because we're finally getting it, you know? It's really part of international affairs.
But how far have women really come?
What does it say about the college co-ed Susan Fluke?
Recent events have put women in the national conversation, and many would say not for the right reasons.
To have sex. What does that make her? It makes her a slut, right?
Conservative radio host and entertainer Rush Limbaugh called a Georgetown Law Center student a slut and a prostitute.
And for allowing me to testify.
Sandra Fluck found herself in the middle of a firestorm after she addressed the issue of contraception and insurance coverage at a briefing held before some members of Congress. The debate centers around religious institutions and their ability to exercise religious freedom, something they say will be limited if they are forced to provide contraception to their employees and/or students. In a video response posted onto YouTube by the Catholic Church, Cardinal Wuerl addressed the institution's opposition to the mandate.
These things we're talking about are accessible. We're just being told we have to provide them for other people, and we can't do that.
For young women, however, this issue continues to be a pressing matter about a woman's right to choose.
It's kind of insulting that women have to even go through this, even if it's their own choice. Like, they should respect what women want to do and not have Congress get involved.
For the whole men thing, I have a hard time when men tell a woman what they can and cannot do. I think that birth control has a lot of benefits to it, not just for, to prevent pregnancy.
I'm personally on it for medical reasons, so if someone were to tell me that it's not covered and then I have to pay out of pocket for something that it's not really my choice to be on, I don't think it's fair.
In Washington, for The Source, Vanessa Alvarez reporting.
The Marvin Center recently played host to a celebration of Japanese culture and history. From fun games to fundraising for serious causes, Louis Sereno and Siobhan Sarna have the details on this year's Japan Fest.
Organizers of this year's Japan Fest put on quite a show. From traditional origami and calligraphy to video games like Pokemon and wacky banana costumes, the festival celebrated all aspects of Japanese culture.
Actually, Japanese culture is like a mixture of different cultures, European, Asian, so we wanted to show that tonight.
Over 200 guests crowded the Continental Ballroom in the Marvin Center.
Here at Japan Fest, and I really like coming out because it's a way for me to get more knowledge about that Japanese culture and kind of interact with a lot of people on campus.
Attendees went from booth to booth, getting a sense of the Japanese experience. Guests took aim at the chopstick gun booth, colored in Pikachu, and enjoyed shaved ice and Japanese food.
The food is always a big draw. It's always one of the big reasons to come out at one of these things.
But the performances were the main attraction. The GW Karate Club packed a punch in its demonstration. Other performers lightened the mood by playing catchy J-pop or Japanese pop music and in more familiar tunes.
My favorite part, the performances. It has to be the songs because everybody worked very hard.
Japan Fest may seem like all fun and games, but it's for a serious cause, with a portion of tonight's proceeds going to support tsunami relief funds.
This year in particular, we're really trying to get the GW community to understand that Japan is still in a lot of need of help, and They need help with resources. They're still living in temporary shelters. It's going to take about 6 years for people who are living near the nuclear radiation to get back into their homes. And then 50 years is going to be when it's completely free of the radiation.
The 9.0 earthquake and 45-foot tsunami killed as many as 20,000 people, and an estimated 90,000 lost their homes.
You know, we're students, we don't have that much money to give. But I think the most important part is to send a message to the Japanese people that people across the world, even halfway across the world in Washington, D.C. care.
Reporting for The Source, this is Louis Serino and Siobhan Sarna.
Well, that looks like a lot of fun. We'll have to go and try that food next year.
Yeah, it's great to see so many people are still supporting the relief efforts in Japan. Now on to a hot-button issue that's got GW students fired up. The university smoking policy is up for review in May, and a pair of graduate students is fighting for a smoke-free campus. Jennifer Wolf and Sarah Swartzstrauber have this report for The Source.
Anyone who walks by Gelman Library can see GW students lighting up cigarettes over by the front entrance. Should students be allowed to smoke so close to the front door of a university building? Neela Satyanarayana and Jamelia Paul are arguing for a policy that would ban smoking within 25 feet of any university building.
We've gotten a decent amount of backlash because they think that we're trying to ban smoking on campus. They think we're taking away their rights, but we're actually just trying to give non-smokers kind of a clean air space.
This new rule would require anyone to take roughly 25 steps away from the front entrance to a GW building before lighting up. For a smoker leaving Gelman, they would end up somewhere near Starbucks, over by Kogan Plaza, or somewhere on H Street.
Even though a recent survey showed strong support for a 25-foot barrier, many students think it would be unfair if GW enacted the rule.
It's a little absurd, because first of all, that implies that we have to stand in the middle of the street and smoke, because 25 feet between every building is pretty much the middle of the street. So what, want us to smoke in the middle of like construction traffic or something like that? Like, no, it's ridiculous.
Satyanarayana and Paul say that the policy is fair because secondhand smoke poses a health risk to everyone on campus.
We hear a lot about people that have asthma when they come in and out of buildings, that they have to go through the secondhand smoke, which irritates, their lungs and their breathing.
DC law allows any property owner to create the buffer zone by simply placing a no smoking sign outside their building. Some students and faculty are doubtful that such a law could ever be enforced.
How would you put this in place? What, is the UPD gonna bum rush us if we smoking a cigarette out here?
Colonials for Clean Air says the policy would create an honor system in which students enforce the smoking ban amongst themselves.
It's not going to hinder, or cause a great disturbance. We're just asking to move away from the door.
Until the debate is settled, some smokers are getting creative about how to live on a smoke-free campus.
I think we should just get everybody together that smokes, stand in one big circle in Kogan, and just start lighting up at one time.
This is Sarah Swartzstrauber reporting for The Source.
Whatever happens, we'll be keeping you updated on all the latest developments on this heated debate.
And when we come back, we'll take a look at how senioritis is plaguing students all over campus. Stay tuned.
Hey, we're breaking off a PSA. Whatever Hollywood style. It's about online privacy. Respect that. Here we go. It's a new digital age, how we communicate. But some people cross the line between love and hate. Texting, calling, stalking me online. And all that harassment, it's not fine. We're three girls living off a website. We ain't rich yet, but we got a little insight. Here's 3 stories of what went down when the boys tried to mess with us. First round. Hi, my name's Surrey. I like pajama pants. I try to wear them whenever and wherever I can. But one day my boyfriend said you should take them off and send me the pictures if you love me enough. I'm like, huh?
You just made me feel really uncomfortable. And these pajama pants, on the other hand, super comfortable.
Hi, my name's Apple. I really like to eat, but something's coming in between me and my sweets. A text. What? Another one from you? Do you really have to know everything I do? No.
The truth is, you don't. It's my life, and if I want to finish this pint of Ben & Jerry's in peace, I will.
Hi, my name's Shiloh. I tend to run late, and I just posted that on my status update. But you should know that you're on my Facebook all the time, checking in on me like I'm committing a crime.
Fact is, I'm allowed to be friends with whoever I want. New status update, no longer in a relationship with you.
Texting
acting like a maniac. That's not cool. Stalking me on Facebook. That's not cool. Messing with pajama pants. That's not cool. Doing a synchronized dance. Now that's cool. Hey guys, we hope you respect yourself and your digital privacy. And if you do have a problem, talk it out. You'll be glad you did. All right, PSA out.
It's April, and you're counting the days to graduation. You're tired, feeling a little lazy, and you can't get motivated to finish those last few assignments or go to that 8 a.m. class. You've got senioritis, and the doctors haven't yet found a cure. Luckily, Haley Lesavoy and Katie Ross filed this report.
Senioritis is not wanting to do your work because you feel like you've just been here forever.
Oh yeah, I know what it is. I experienced it in high school my senior year. I pretty much didn't do anything.
Okay, who in this room, could you raise your hand if you're a senior? Is anyone a senior? No one?
It's a Tuesday afternoon in Gelman Library, and students are all but too familiar with the symptoms of senioritis. With less than 3 months till graduation, many seniors are not only looking to take advantage of college weekends, but are looking to take advantage of college weeknights as well.
I normally wouldn't go out during the week if it were, sophomore year or junior year, but since we only have 1 semester left with each other, I do think, your friends influence you to, make the most out of the time that we have.
GW professor Mike Shanahan says that while his senior students are active and engaged in class, professors expect to see some differences between seniors and underclassmen.
I think professors are aware of the likelihood that seniors are going to have a different attitude than they had in the first early parts of their undergraduate careers. But I think the difference now is that there's an enormous fear and consciousness of the national job market, and partly because parents are worried about it. How am I going to find a job in this economy? And so I think that's a big part of the mindset. Maybe people are drinking more because they're worried about not being able to find a job.
It's now Tuesday night, and the line outside McFadden's bar is overflowing with college students. Despite most students having Wednesday classes, many felt that senioritis is something that needs to be embraced with open arms.
Yeah, absolutely live it up. I mean, you only are in college for 4 years, and after this, we're going to have jobs and work 40 hours a week and have to pay for stuff.
Would you say that senioritis is something that is a little bit contagious?
Absolutely. That's why I'm here with all my friends. I was actually going to go to bed and wake up early and do work, but then all my friends are like, you have to come to the bar, so I decided to come to the bar.
For The Source, this is Haley Lesavoy reporting.
This past weekend found GW hosting the final round of former President Clinton's Global Initiative. It's a challenge to students from all over the country to come up with ideas to address the world's greatest challenges, everything from the environment to global health to the economic downturn. We're pleased to welcome the 2 winners of the competition to The Source.
Thanks, guys. I'm joined here today by Matt Wilkins and John Torrey of Panda Cycles. They're the winners of the Clinton Global Initiative this past weekend. Thanks for joining me, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. So can you tell us a little bit more about Panda Cycles?
Sure. The idea is that we're building bicycles out of bamboo, which is a really strong, interesting building material. And since it's so cheap, we can afford to, with the sale of each bike, donate another bike to an organization called Bicycles for Humanity, who provides and distributes bikes to impoverished areas around the world.
Great. Wow. So this is a really good resource for people in what areas do they work in?
They work all around the world, but their main focus is in sub-Saharan Africa.
Wow. So where'd you guys get this idea?
Well, earlier this year, Matt, who's an avid cyclist, really wanted to build a bike. And as an engineering student, there's no reason why he couldn't. He's got the resources and he has the knowledge. So he pulled me in and we started building a bike and thought, well, this is relatively easy to do, so we could do something bigger with it. And our third partner, who's currently in class right now, Chris, heard about Clinton Global Initiative, and it just kind of blossomed and stemmed from that, and here we are.
Wow, so you guys entered this into a contest then?
Yes.
Against how many other schools?
There were 1,000 participants from 300 different schools.
All 50 states and something like 80 countries.
Wow, and so how did you guys become the winner? Was it like a panel of judges? Or?
It was a bracket competition where at first they selected 16 of the top commitments, and then it was all up to voting. So I guess we have to thank GW and all of our friends and family for voting for us.
That's great. I actually was one of those people that voted for you.
Thank you
you're
very
welcome.
much. Thank you.
So what are you guys planning to do now with the organization?
Well, we're still in the R&D phase, so we're going to continue testing our bikes, put them through real-world rigors. We want to make sure we have a safe and proper product. We don't want to put something on the market that wouldn't be feasible for people to actually use for a long period of time. So after that, we'll actually go into production and start making bikes for sale and donation.
That's so great. Well, I want to ask you guys more about the Clinton Global Initiative. What was that whole process like? Did you get to see a lot of high-profile celebrities?
It was pretty incredible. We started off going to a few workshops and panels, and a lot of people don't really know about the workshops. They just hear about like Usher and Bill Clinton. But even in the workshops, they were led by well-established people. So I went to one of them that was about using social media to attract attention to your commitment. And the two people that led the workshop, one of them was President Obama's chief of social media. So I guess he's pretty established and does a good job. And the other was actually a GW graduate who works at Mashable. So when those people tell you things, you listen.
Exactly. And so did you actually get to meet Bill Clinton?
We did.
We did.
We went on stage with him and had a little brief conversation, got to shake his hand. He touched the bike, lifted it up. It was really cool.
Nice. Well, congratulations, guys. It's a great idea. I wish you a lot of luck with it. And thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Back to you guys.
Congratulations, guys. Coming up after a quick break, we'll learn about the big changes coming to the Marvin Center.
Frozen Peas, respected member of our community for years, determined to always do just the right thing, committed to support the growth of our children, and effective at lowering bad cholesterol. Frozen Peas, courage, integrity, fresh ideas. This message paid for by the Friends of Frozen Peas.
There are always changes underway at the busy Marvin Center, and after much discussion, the powers that be have decided on a future course for the 5th floor of the Marvin Center. Scott Backer and John Teresi filed this report.
Today I want to talk about an issue that's central to my campaign, and that's the issue of a lack of community space for students on this campus.
In last month's Student Association elections, candidates flooded the airwaves with their promise to reclaim student space on campus. While many students first learned of the proposed changes to the Marvin Center during the campaign, student leaders and administrators had been meeting for months behind closed doors to redevelop the Marvin Center's 4th and 5th floors.
Right when I took this position over the summer, I was approached by some members of the university administration talking about this great idea they had for a cohabitated space on the 5th floor where students and staff would interact together and collaborate together on student services and student organizations.
The university's original plans aimed to convert the Marvin Center's 5th floor, which once housed the G-World office, WOW Wingery, and the Hippodrome, into a centrally located student hub. However, during the design process, the idea for a cohabitated space was dropped in favor of a Colonial Central-style student services center.
The university made the right business decision, however, has thus far failed to kind of show that it has a demonstrated and concerted plan for student and community space going forward.
The university's concept has not been popular with students, who feel that the university is putting its bottom line before their needs and wishes.
I'm kind of sad to lose the Hippodrome, even though I didn't use it that often. I used it once or twice a year, but it still felt really cool to use. But also, as a Star Tour guide, it's hard to kind of sell the Marvin Center as a student activity center when we don't really have something fun like the bowling alley to use.
I feel that right now students don't have enough space to hang out, to interact, and just have fun. You know, the 5th floor was a place where people went up, played pool. You know, there were a lot of international students there who went to watch, soccer games or football games, at varied hours. of the day and night.
In response to student complaints, the GW Student Association and the Marvin Center Governing Board each drafted resolutions calling for the university to make a concerted effort to take student space issues seriously. The Student Association resolution stated, "Whereas the students of the George Washington University have already lost student space with the closing of the Fishbowl, Wow Cafe in Wingery, and the Hippodrome, be it resolved the George Washington University must rectify this problem by allocating funding towards the renovation of the 4th floor and being cognizant of the need for student space on this campus." While many students are still not satisfied by the university's decision, many in the administration are looking forward to the changes.
We have so many pressing needs at GW, and at the end of the day, people come here for the experience, the field experience, putting their knowledge into action, and while we would miss something like the Hippodrome, no one was coming here for bowling.
Despite concerns about further space reduction, the university is committed to this project and has already started renovations on the 5th floor. However, students can take some solace in the fact that the university has promised to share some of the costs for the renovations of the 4th floor, where many student orgs spend much of their time. While much is still to be decided, one thing is certain. A lot will have been changed here in the Marvin Center by early next fall. This has been Scott Backer reporting for The Source.
And with that, we're done for today's program. Thanks for joining us.
Next time around, we'll be bringing you a look at Take Back the Night and enjoy the Battle of the Bands. Should be really fun. Have a great week.